Dun, 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 dun.
Soldiers of the First Order, today we exact our revenge on the despicable resistance. The staggering power of our ATM-6s.
With Star Wars Battlefront 2's release, we Battlefront fans were promised lots of free DLC additions, providing new heroes and villains, worlds, and other fun features would be on the way in the future. Thus far, we've seen the first season, The Last Jedi DLC, where we've got to play as some new characters from the new film and explore Dakar's atmosphere and Crate's surface, two planets we've never seen before in the Battlefront games. Now the question remains, what planets will we see in future seasons? Well, today, I'll be presenting my list of the top 10 worlds from the Star Wars films I'd like to see brought into Battlefront 2 in alphabetical order. And to just give you a tease, this is part 1 of a 3-episode series. In future entries, I'll be revealing my top picks for other worlds I want to see from other areas of Star Wars, whether they be from the animated shows like Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels. So make sure you subscribe to see those installments. Number 1. ahch-to. ahch-to was first introduced in 2015 with the release of Star Wars Episode 7 The Force Awakens. It's based in the unknown regions and it's primarily an aquatic planet with a few rocky islands displaced on its entire surface. ahch-to is also the world the first Jedi Temple was built on and the world Luke Skywalker fled to prior to The Force Awakens. ahch-to would be a great fit for Star Wars Battlefront 2. Its islands, rocky surfaces, and various hillsides would offer challenges for troops as they continue their fight. And visually, ahch-to has a natural, realistic look to it, and attributes similar to Scarif. And boy, that world looked awesome in both Rogue One and in the original Star Wars Battlefront of 2015. Lastly, there are many points of interest to explore, like Luke's hut, the saddle, the first Jedi Temple, the Mirror Cave, even the Tree Library. Battlefront 2 would be the perfect opportunity to give players the means to have first-hand experience investigating this world for themselves. Number 2. Kantobite. Kantobite was first revealed a few months ago in Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. It's a notable region on Cantonica, a desert planet located in the Outer Rim. Primarily a casino hub, Kantobite brings in the wealthiest members of the galaxy, and it's easy to see why. Its establishments have some of the most beautiful and ostentatious design work the galaxy has to offer. Now, if Battlefront 2 were to bring Kantobite into the game, not only would Rose Tico love that, I'm sure she'd love this place to be brought into the thick of violence and destruction, but players could explore the casinos, the racetracks, the police headquarters, the landscapes, even Baron Yasto Otzman's undisputed Victor yacht, or Kantobite City streets maybe. And hey, if you can ride Tauntauns in the Hoth levels, I'm sure you could ride Favirs here. Maybe even use them to trample on some enemy soldiers. Number 3. Christophsis. Christophsis is a world covered in large green crystal structures, and it's located in the Outer Rim. It was first seen in the Star Wars The Clone Wars animated film, and it appeared later in the first and second seasons of the Clone Wars TV show, as well as in some of the newer novels. I would love to visit this world again. Christophsis is one of my favorite worlds from the show. It bared witness to some of the largest battles of the Clone Wars, whether they were fought on the planet's surface or above in its orbit, and I think for any Clone Wars fan, the options to fight a Separatist cruiser blockade, or to fight their way to the Separatist energy shield generator, or Republic AVC or AV-7 anti-vehicle cannons, fight their way between the North and South Towers, or even go toe-to-toe with the opposing forces of the Republic or Separatist headquarters. Those opportunities would be ones I'm sure no Clone Wars fans would pass up. Number 4. Khorasan. This, among a few others, is a top fan choice. Khorasan is known as the central world of the galaxy as it has huge political and economic influence. It's also home to tall skyscrapers, wide cityscapes, a seemingly depthless subterranean underworld, and some of the most notable locations in the galaxy. Any one of which would be fun to explore in Battlefront 2. I mean, imagine, you could fight in the Senate building, the Chancellor's office, the underworld levels, i.e. 1313. We were so close with that one game, but we never did get to play it ourselves. Anyways, Dexter Jester's Diner, Padme's apartment, Monument Plaza, the Maglev train and its station, the Slum District, the Jedi Temple, maybe even with its Imperial Palace look, too. That's something I've desperately wanted to see for myself up close since it was first revealed in Tarkin that Last Jedi, or not Last Jedi, but Jedi Temple was changed up a bit. Obviously, Coruscant is a popular fan choice and a gold mine of content that it seems so likely we'll see this world in a future season. Number 5. Dagobah. Dagobah is a swamp planet located in the Outer Rim that was first introduced in Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. It's a planet Yoda visits in Season 6, Episode 11, Voices of the Clone Wars TV series, and later escapes to upon the implementation of Order 66. Now, Dagobah would be incredibly unique for Battlefront 2 because there really hasn't been a swamp planet in the game before. Also, The gameplay on Dagobah would be unlike anything we've experienced so far because it would add a huge level of complexity to the battles here. Imagine not being able to see your enemies, as thick, soupy layers of fog and mixtures of trees and vines obstruct your view. True, if you had a thermal imaging or night vision scope, you could bypass this challenge, but for the usual troop, including Dagobah would make Battlefront 2's gameplay much more intense. Number 6. Felucia. Felucia is an Outer Rim world sporting an impressive variety of plant life, creatures, and color. There's really not many worlds like it, and none have appeared in the newer Battlefront games. However, Felucia did previously appear in the original Battlefront 2 video game, and this would certainly be an environment worthy of the new Battlefront 2. Felucia has appeared in the films, books, video games, and TV shows. We've gotten to see several beautiful spots and landmarks on the planet, primarily during the era of the Clone Wars, and we've really gotten a taste for just how special this place is. And not only would it be cool to traverse the plant-covered terrain and fight, but the possibilities of what DICE could do with the design construction of Felucia have me really excited. Number 7. Geonosis. Like Khorasan, Geonosis is also a highly requested environment for Battlefront 2, probably because of how much it offers. Geonosis was first introduced in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, as the site of the first battle of the Clone Wars. Since then, its story has not only been expanded in the Clone Wars TV show, but Geonosis has appeared elsewhere through Rebels, Catalyst, a Rogue One novel, and the Darth Vader comics too. So we've seen so much more when it comes to the environments and places on Geonosis, giving us a huge wealth of locations to fight at. The Petronaki Arena, the second droid factory, the Progate Temple and catacombs below it, the asteroid belt, the landscape. There's just so many places that could be explored in Battlefront 2. And what's more, Geonosis offers the challenge hardcore Battlefront players would die for. True, the sand is reminiscent of Tatooine, but sandstorms under a red sky, that would certainly make things interesting. And the catacombs, of course, would be pitch black, without the use of night vision goggles or headlights. Overall, Geonosis offers so many endless possibilities to Battlefront 2, so its presence is essential for this game. Number 8. Jetta. When the Rogue One Scarif DLC was released for Battlefront 1 in 2016, I saw many fans discussing how they'd like Jetta utilized as well. Jetta is a desert planet in the Mid-Rim that first appeared in Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. It has an environment very similar to Tatooine, with blue skies and a sandy surface, and in the film, we got to visit two primary locations, Jetta City and the catacombs of Kadera. While I think the latter one is unlikely to be used, Jetta City offers so many great opportunities for Battlefront 2, close-range combat for warring armies, and narrow streets riddled with obstacles, and who knows? With some Jetta DLC, we could see the TX-225 GAVW Occupier Combat Assault Tank featured as a reinforcement. That's something I'd love to see, as well as Jetta. It would be a cool way to get Rogue One featured in Battlefront 2 as well. Number 9. Mustafar. I'd love to see any of the worlds on this list, but if you were to ask me for my number 1 pick, Mustafar would be it. Covered in volcanic mountains, rock surfaces, and streams of molten lava, this world is truly one of a kind. There's no other world seen in the Battlefront games quite like Mustafar, which makes its inclusion into Battlefront 2 essential. Just imagine shooting your blaster or wielding your lightsaber against like-minded enemies as you jump amongst the rocks trying to avoid the possibility of burning or incineration, or run through a demolishing structure in search of the nearest safe area, one that soon will be taken by the lava as well. It just sounds like so much fun, and for locations, of course, you've got all sorts of them presented in the films, the Clone Wars, and comic books. Just so many. The famous rocks the Brother standoff took place around, the Black Sun Fortress, the Imperial Base, the Mustafar mining facility, aka the Separatist hideout, Darth Sidious's facility, the Sith Cave, and most importantly, Vader's Castle. Somewhere I've wanted to go since Rogue One, and somewhere that would make this potential DLC more than worth it. Finally, number 10, Buda Pal. Buda Pal is a world in the Outer Rim that first appeared in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. As we saw there, the planet is covered in desert landscapes, but its most notable features are the deep, enormous sinkholes engulfing much of the planet, especially ones, seemingly all, with built-in cities and structures on the sinkhole walls. Buda Pal later appeared in the Clone Wars, where we saw its sprawling plain areas, as well as its subterranean caves beneath the cities. There's a reason fans want to see Buda Pal appear in Battlefront 2. Fighting in the various areas on Buda Pal would be a fun experience for Star Wars fans, but participating in similar variations of the battles fought on Buda Pal, whether it be the memorable Obi-Wan vs. Geonosis fight, or the Clone Troopers vs. Separatist droid fight occurring simultaneously, well, I'm very hopeful that'll happen. So those are the 10 worlds from the films I want to see adapted into Battlefront 2. Like I said in the introduction, this is part 1 of a 3-episode series. We'll be touching on Clone Wars and Rebels in the future. So be sure to subscribe to the Clean Gaming Network and hit the notify bell to know when the other episodes were released. And if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button and share the video link with your Star Wars friends. And comment below on what worlds from the movies are your top 10 list. Until the next episode, God bless, and may the Force be with you. Always.